PFT, what's up, dude? How you been?
Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are having a good one. Is it beautiful there in D.C. like it is out here in Chicago?
It is, but we're inside.
We're stuck inside till 2 o'clock, and then we'll be released onto the world.
All right, yeah. Well, shout out to everybody in D.C. that's playing hooky from work today, just taking a day off and hanging out outdoors.
You talking about
what
landfill?
America's truly all about.
Yeah,
landfill. Landfill has a good perspective. Him and Hank are kind of the same, like a good work-life balance. You know?
That's right. Dude, I mean, based on traffic this morning, plenty of people were taking the day. Dude, so I was thinking about this morning. How long have you been in Chicago now? Are you loving it, like fully settled in? Because Chicago summers are the best.
Calendar year. It's about a full calendar year right now. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm enjoying it. And you're right. Chicago, the winters are so bad, which makes you really appreciate the summertime. It's like I remember when I was at JMU out in the mountains a little bit down the valley. There would be like some tough winters sometimes, and then that one first day of like late March, early April, and everybody's outside and nobody cares that it's actually only like 65 degrees outside, but everyone just treats it like it's the middle of the summer. That's kind of what happens here in the springtime. But now, yeah, it's beautiful, man. Great hot dog eating weather. You know what today is? This is, I think, the first day of the season where I really felt this, like deep in my bones. This is the perfect day if you're in D.C., if you're in Chicago, skip work and just go watch some baseball during the day. That's what today feels like to me. This feels like
It would be great.
Don't clock in, go to the ballpark, drink 3 beers, have like 2 hot dogs, and then whatever crazy dessert that they sell. That is a perfect day for me right now. I actually might end up doing that.
You need like the biggest helmet ice cream contraption they've got. You're completely right. And I don't know. The Nats, I think, are on the road. I'm not even sure. But being in Chicago, maybe the Cubs are at Wrigley for a day game.
Yeah, the Cubs and then the White Sox are kind of half of a team. So that, yeah, you can get some plenty of good seats available for White Sox games this summer. So shout out to the Nationals, by the way. Nationals, I said at the start of the season, I think they're going to be like a little bit frisky this year. And but if you take out Corbin, if you do like, there's some advanced like analytics that we can do where we erase Corbin from all the team stats and see like what the Nats would be if we didn't have Corbin. Because I feel like we might be above 500, or at least very much close to it. But yeah, they're at least the Nats aren't the White Sox. And
well, dude, they just took 3 out of 4 from the Braves. I don't know if you saw that. They took 3 out of 4 from Atlanta. And had a good win last night. And I think Josiah Gray is going to come off the IL soon, which maybe they can actually get rid of Corbin.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Corbin, he's been a Nat for a long time. I'm kind of taking a big dump on him for a while.
This is the last year of his contract, yeah.
Yeah, it's more like, okay, his contract's kind of crazy, has not lived up to it, and it's easy to point a finger at a guy and be like, okay, this is the reason why I'm not happy. But the reality is that the Nats are way, way better than most people thought, and I don't know. I think the future is bright.
Are they still paying Strasburg? They're paying Strasburg, I know.
They reached.
Is Scherzer still getting money?
Oh, I think they deferred it. So, yeah. But
wow.
Strasburg, I believe they reached a settlement for him to retire, and he's now retired. So, ideally, that was lump sum at least. PFT, I'm curious for you, man. I don't know if this crossed your radar, but obviously the Nats were up for sale for a while, and then they kind of were no longer for sale. But Leonsis actually said it on the Junkies last week or 2 weeks ago that he still wants to try to buy the baseball team. Where do you land on all those like kind of machinations?
Yeah, it would be kind of weird to have one guy running 3 out of the 4 major teams. To me, that it would feel strange. I understand why he wants to be linked to the possibility of buying the team. Like that's A-Rod 101 is to just like get your name in the news for the possibility. You know what? I'll break it here right now. I am interested in purchasing a controlling stake of the Washington Nationals. I've formed a group of investors, and we've been meeting and discussing our finances, and we're almost ready to make a formal offer on the team. Not quite there yet, but it should be coming soon. See, I can do it too. Anybody can say it, and then if your name is written up in the news about it, it becomes a good thing for you. So I don't know if there's no way to tell with Ted, because the way the whole the stadium thing in DC and Virginia went down, I have no idea what's a bluff and what's not, and what ends up being just a lucky set of happenstance. So I don't know how strategic he is with that type of stuff, but I'll just say that, like, I'm always skeptical about owners putting out any sort of offer in the press until it actually happens, because it's just so easy for anybody to do.
That was a lot of talk and a lot of serious researching about him being involved with possibly buying it earlier. And then now the talk has come up with him having the PIF fund backing him and stuff like that. So
well, I think the Orioles
has the money.
I think the Orioles getting sold is a huge part of this, because as long as Angelos was around, they weren't going to be able to figure out the TV aspect. But one, now that Angelos sold, and two, frankly, that he passed away, I think the future of baseball from DC and Baltimore will look dramatically different in a year or two. You know what I mean? Like those are complicated things to figure out, but I think it'll dramatically change in the next year or two, and I think it'll be for the better for both ball clubs.
I think you're probably right about that. It's going to be a lot less confusing for prospective Nationals free agents to be able to do a deal with a team without these crazy amounts of deferred money into the future. And say what you want about Peter Angelos, but the man just basically said, "No, I'm not going to pay you what I owe you," and got away with it. And he got away with it to the extent where, like, just people stopped trying to make him give the money up. They were like, "That's just Peter. He's not going to give us the money that he owes us. So we'll just wait it out for a while." Like, talk about a legendary guy just being like, just taking to the next level, and it worked out for him. But yeah, I think it's going to be good for the Orioles. It's such a weird split that they have with the TV revenues to begin with. Most Major League Baseball players don't want to have to worry about that when they're looking for a new contract. It's like, okay, well, you could get X amount here and you can get X from the Nationals, but just so you know, you're not going to get it for another 12 years because of some legal jargon taking place up in Baltimore. So I think it's going to be good for everybody. Listen, as long as the Nationals have like a fairly competitive team that pop up every few years to feel like they could really do some damage, I think that's a sweet spot, as long as they're not a terrible ball club. So yeah, I would like to see. I don't know if I want Ted to own the team. I like having a little variety of my owners in DC, so that way I can have a little bit of blame to go around.
I tend to agree. I mean, we'll see how it all shakes out. I did just look this up for you. The Cubs play the Reds at Wrigley at 2:20, so maybe that's 1:20 your time. But you might have just planned out your afternoon, man.
I might have to do that. Yeah. So taking the dog to physical therapy today. I didn't know that dogs.
Your little puppy or your big puppy?
He got a little Max Scherzer. Oh, probably not Max Scherzer. He got a little Jacob deGrom going on. So he had double elbow surgery, which he's recovering from. Yeah, they're calling him Bark Prior. So there's a lot of slander going on around.
How do you hurt your elbow on your non-throwing?
Well, BMitch, he's a dog. I don't think he's throwing.
Oh.
my dog isn't I don't know. He doesn't really throw the thing, but
I heard that completely wrong. Hold on now. What the hell?
Oh, is this a Two Americas thing, BMitch? Did you think I was talking just about my friend?
No, I thought you were talking about some damn person.
No, his dog. PFT, can I ask? I don't want to be too personal. Is their dog health insurance? Because none of that sounds cheap, dude.
Yeah, there is dog insurance, and they are very, very mad at me. They count on people getting the dog insurance and just paying, the monthly premium, never ever going back to them for it. And then I just slapped a bill for $6,000 on their desk the other day, and they're like, "What is this?" I was like, "Yep, you're paying for the surgery, part of the deal." No, but he's good. He's good. We're putting him on a underwater treadmill today.
Wow.
To get him to build up his elbow strength again. So we're gonna have him hitting the rice bucket. He's gonna be throwing 99 on the block in no time. So Blake he's on the mend. I'm very, very encouraged by that. So I might drop him off at physical therapy and then swing over to Wrigley, maybe catch a game in the bleachers today. Today feels like an outdoor skip work baseball type of day.
Now that you said it, I feel like I need a hot dog today. We're actually going to air fry a bunch of steaks later during the show. You're welcome to come to that. I don't know that you'll make it in time, though.
So how do you air fry a steak?
Brian?
The same way you air fry anything else.
We're stuck in the radio studio, so we don't have access to a grill or like a broiler or anything. So we're going to air fry them. We're having a cookout this afternoon, and we're going to have a rap battle, too.
Okay, so are you guys going after each other like Drake and Kendrick? Is that
No, it's going to be
it's our producer Jeff
and guy we call Wild Card Scotty.
This crazy dude that works in the asphalt business that drops bars.
He's very similar to JP.
No.
Yes, he is. Very similar.
That is a bridge too far.
Factual.
No chance. PFT, let's talk a little bit of football, dude. I imagine you've seen Jaden Daniels' videos and read, what people are saying from camp. Where are you excitement level? It's 100 days till kickoff for the Commanders today.
Yeah, exactly 100 days today. Very excited. I'm at level 100 right now. I'm excited to see Caleb Williams on Hard Knocks. I get to see how the other guys doing behind the scenes. I'm glad that we don't have Hard Knocks, obviously, with a rookie head coach. You can always turn it down, which it appears that we did. But I'm pumped for football in general. I love football. I love summer. I love thinking about football. I love hearing football. I was actually talking to my coworker Jersey Jerry the other day about the Guardian caps that the players are wearing in practice. Do you think that any player is actually going to wear those in the game? Because they're allowed to this year. The NFL is saying we're going to allow you to wear it if you want to protect your head in an actual game. I don't know if any players are going to do it though. Like it's going to take some player who's very confident in himself and that doesn't care what he looks like to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to wear this giant head pad thing. I don't know. Have you guys talked to any players about that?
Nah. That'd be good. That'd be a good little topic for you, Jay.
I think offensive linemen tend to wear it because they've been wearing it at camp now for a few years, and O linemen seem to wear it more than others.
Because their heads hit constantly.
Right.
And the studies say that there are more concussions with O-line and D-linemen than anybody else.
Totally. And kind of undiagnosed, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just constantly happening.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember Charles Leno wore it. He's not here anymore. I think during camp, they kind of make all those guys wear it. The only, I'm trying to think skill position guys that really wore it. J.D. McKissick was wearing that thing after he kind of struggled with like serious neck and almost spine injuries. But no, that will be a fascinating little subplot this season. I also think the new kickoffs is going to be kind of a fascinating little subplot this season.
Yeah. I don't know what the best way to attack that is going to be, but some coaches are going to have very creative ways to attack it, and it's going to work out really well for those coaches, and it's going to win them a couple games. And then some coaches are going to have really creative ways to attack it that's not going to work out at all, and it's going to cost them games. So I'm excited to see which coaches adapt the best to it. But yeah, the Guardian cap thing seems like I can't imagine like a running back wearing one of those caps in an actual NFL game.
Yeah,
it's going to be really weird to look at. To me, it was more about the NFL saying, we have to give you the option to wear this because otherwise it appears that we're saying we know that there's a safer way to play, but we're not going to let you do it. So we're going to give you the option. We're going to make them look really ugly and hope that nobody actually uses them in games, which is actually what I think will happen.
Yeah. It'll be very odd to see guys actually wearing that thing. You know what I mean? Like it
looks clunky.
When you first see it just at training camp, you're like, what the hell? I've gotten
Mark
used
Kelso wore something like that way back in the day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He had the double helmet.
Yeah.
The double helmet was wacky. I remember when those things became pretty popular. PFT, before we go, dude, I did want to give you a chance. I'm in AWL, listen to your pod, and I remember when you got that interview with Bill Walton, and then to rehear it again this week. I don't know. That dude is just such a larger than life figure that I'm curious for you that got to spend some serious time with him, what it was like.
Well, I don't want to act like he was a big part of my life, that we hung out a ton. I met him one time, actually twice. I met him twice, but the first time was for an interview, and we spent, I think, about 2.5, maybe 3 hours. It was supposed to be like 30, 45 minutes. It ended up just dragging on because he kept talking to us and having this great conversation. So none of us wanted to stop having to talk. But with a celebrity death, sometimes I'll get like a little sad or, stop where I'm at and be like, oh man, that sucks. But when it's a celebrity death that you don't really have a connection to, you usually don't feel that like actual emotion. When Bill Walton passed away, I was sad for hours. I was down bad because of it. Because he was such just a interesting, unique person that was a pleasure to be around. Like I try not to get that serious too much on part of my take. We try to be an escape for people, but I was honestly sad, like very, very sad that Bill passed away because of just the attitude that he had and the way that he would make everybody around him happy, and he was just a unique person. That's where I think the most sad about was that there's nobody else on planet Earth like Bill Walton, and I don't think there ever will be somebody like him. And so the world kind of lost a unique person that made it better. And I mean, I'm getting sad just now talking about it, but Bill would probably be very upset if he knew that people were being sad about his death because he wanted to spread joy.
Yes.
So yeah, he was just such a cool guy. You could ask him anything, and he was so well read, so educated, and so curious about everything that he could talk to anybody. He was a perfect person to introduce to. You talk to people that knew him, and they're like, yeah, I'd bring him around my dad. I would bring him around my kids. I would bring him around, a friend that I had from way back in the day. Bill could talk to anybody. And I loved watching him on TV when he was doing the Pac-12 After Dark. Just like such a unique person in sports. And if somebody sat down and tried to create Bill Walton in the lab, they couldn't do it. It has to be like, pure Bill. It has to be completely organic. If somebody were to try to like emulate what he does, it doesn't work. You have to just be that pure dude. And that's what Bill was. And he was also a great athlete, which I think gets lost a little bit these days because he's just been on TV and a commentator for so long. But he was one of the better basketball players of all time. He had some bad injuries that sidelined him.
Yeah.
But he won 3 Naismith Awards in college basketball. He won the NBA MVP and the Sixth Man of the Year award, which is that's such a testament to Bill.
The Sixth Man especially is so bizarre considering all the other stuff. I know injuries landed him there. But.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, you're right though. He was the MVP of the entire NBA, and then later on in his career, he's like, you know what? I'm going to come off the bench and I'm going to be the best player that I can, and he ended up being the Sixth Man of the Year, which is you don't really see that. You know who else got it, but it was kind of like the opposite. I believe James Harden did that same thing, which is just a crazy combo of people that you never
like put together.
Yeah, we never compare those two though.
With James Harden, might have been the other way around. Though. I'm pretty sure he got the Sixth Man before he got the MVP.
Like the OKC teams when he was coming off the bench, probably early.
Yeah, but Bill, the bottom line is there's never going to be anybody like Bill Walton, and I am still sad that he's gone and no longer with us. But I think like you can think about Bill and he puts a smile on your face. And when we were talking to Mike Breen today on Part of My Take about Bill, he had a great story, by the way, like a really touching story about Bill Walton.
I listened.
He just said the thing about Bill is there's very few people that you'll ever meet in life that when you think of them, the very first thing that happens is you smile or laugh, and that's Bill Walton. So sorry for getting like corny with
that's a great way for somebody to be remembered. How about this? Something more upbeat. You mentioned Mike Breen. He'll be on the call. NBA Finals start next week. Who you got? Why?
Okay, so I keep going back and forth. So here's what I really want. I'm going to tell you what I want and then what I think, okay? What I want so desperately, I want the Mavericks to win. And the reason is I want the Mavericks to be NBA champions. The Texas Rangers, they're World Series champions. They're Major League Baseball champions. They don't want the Dallas Stars to win the Stanley Cup. And they don't want the Cowboys to choke in the first round of the playoffs again. That would be the best, wouldn't it? It's like everybody in Dallas bringing home titles.
I said that B does not like this idea.
I ain't cheering for none of them in Dallas. I hate the whole city.
You hate the whole city. I appreciate that.
But you like Philly.
You got the Dallas. They paid me. Yeah, you got the Dallas Stars. Okay. What the hell does Dallas wear on their helmet? A star. So they're too close to the Cowboys for me.
I hadn't thought.
Okay.
I'm also rooting for Edmonton. I'm rooting for Canada. Blue. I'm rooting for McDavid.
You go with the Mavericks, they're blue. Close to the Cowboys. All of them.
Yeah.
Blue.
They're horses. Cowboys ride horses.
I
do think I'm rooting for the Mavs.
So I just want.
I don't know why.
PFT Finlay, boo. PFT, boo.
Yeah. I want to see the magnifying.
They already doing that enough. Believe me, they're doing that enough.
I know, but it'd be funny. You have to admit, BMitch, it'd be funny if it was Titletown.
It'd be funny if all the Dallas teams lose, then the Cowboys don't even make the playoffs.
So what do you think will happen then? Because I'm rooting for the Mavs too.
So I think the Celtics are going to do it. I think that the Mavericks have two of the best players in the world. Luka is probably the best player currently right now at this very moment. I mean, his first quarter that he had last night was just absolutely insane. The shot making that he was pulling off.
It really was, man.
But you know what? I don't think he's a dog. I don't think Luka's got that dog in him. I just saw a clip this morning of Luka having a beer after the game, and Michael Finlay, the vice president of basketball operations for the Mavericks, walked up to him, didn't say a word, took the beer out of his hand and walked away, and Luka just took it. Luka was just he was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not allowed to drink.
I think those Eastern European dudes just operate differently. Like, you know that famous picture of the Kansas City quarterback smoking a heater and drinking a beer at halftime of the Super Bowl? Is that Len Dawson, maybe?
Yeah, but it's after we just made it to the finals, and you going to take the beer out of my hand?
And we don't play for 8 days?
I don't give a damn who you are. You have a problem on your hands.
That's right, BMitch. That's why you got that dog in him, right? Like, BMitch is an alpha.
Michael Finlay used to play. I understand, but still.
Michael Finlay is also my brother's name.
That must get confusing.
That's your brother?
Yeah, not that.
I know,
sort of. PFT, we got to let you run, man. I appreciate you making time for us, and try to get to Wrigley. Enjoy the day. Good luck with the pup.
All right, have a great weekend, guys.